For this slide set, I'm just going to make the big point for each slide. You can read the quotes and digest those and reflect on them in more detail in your own time. The big first assumption, and this is pretty well validated in cognitive neuroscience, that the human mind's subjective experience is a pretty chaotic, disorganized entity. We might like to think it's organized, but I'm pretty sure if you think about yourself and how you feel on a day-to-day basis sometimes, and how different you might feel and see things, even yourself, you may see that this perhaps is a stark but accurate reflection of what goes on in terms of our brain functioning. And it may well be a bit like a PC. We have lots of programs on it, and they all might do useful things, but they often interfere with each other as well. So we have to learn to live with that. And there's a lovely quote from Pinker. You can reflect on that. Let's move on. And we know, isn't it strange, that we often want to do one thing, but we're doing another thing, and then we're doing the thing that we want to do, and want to do something else. So we're at work thinking about playing golf, we're at golf thinking about something else, and when we're doing the something else, we're actually thinking about work. That's just the way the mind works. And to make it even more complicated, that emotions, which, if you look at that slide, come from a particular area of the brain, are pretty much our default system. So if emotions kick in, thinking often goes out the window, and we need to understand what this means and its impact on our behaviour. And that's why you should not send emails to somebody if you're annoyed with them. We need to make sure that we can calm down and try to be more rational before we make our decisions. But often the emotions kick in, and so be it. And to make it even a little bit more spicy, whether we like it or not, we do have personality configurations that are in large part hereditary. So if we're dealing with the introverted, neurotic, narrow, disagreeable and undependable person, trying to change them might be a tough call. Building rapport might be even tougher. It might just be best to avoid them. And finally, as we saw through our filters, a major filter is our belief system. Our belief system is built up through our experience, but then it acts as a major filter. But the big point is this, that beliefs are no more than perceptions that have been around a long time, but they will shape very much the psychological state that we're often in at any particular point in time. But as we'll see later, beliefs can change, and that's one of the big areas that NLP works on. If people have beliefs that are not productive, that are not helping them, then it's important to change those beliefs. And here's a bit of a fun slide here. Given that so much of the internal representation and maps is, if you like, pictures in our head, that if you actually look at something like aliens, how they're presented in the media, you'll see many years ago the film Alien doesn't look a very attractive entity to me, as opposed to the kind of new alien from E.T., the kind of fragile, friendly grey alien. Again, as people have reported, and there's some research on this, seeing creatures from another world now, do they or do they not, they seem to reflect the Hollywood construction of what is the alien of the time. So think about this and reflect on it, and offer your views, your experiences, your questions on the accompanying